Coming up next on Headline Humboldt, the Sheriff's Office has entered into an agreement with a video production company that'll follow deputies around and film them enforcing the law on the North Coast. But these local cops aren't your old school bad boys. Also, we'll chat with Chief Sean Robertson and Fire Captain Brandon Harlander from Humboldt Fire District about the department's ongoing staffing challenges and its future. Coming up now on Headline Humboldt. From the top of Humboldt Hill, this is Headline Humboldt. I'm James Falk. Thanks for joining us. There's few callings or professions in modern life that demonstrate selflessness and bravery as part of its basic description. There are a few, teachers and nurses and such, but there's certainly even fewer jobs where one's own personal safety is often at risk. One of those professions, as we all remember so vividly from the aftermath of the September 11th terrorist attacks, are firefighters. We were struck that day by the bravery of men and women who, despite the absolute terror and chaos of that morning, rushed headlong into danger and up the stairs of a burning building. It was a brief glimpse into an ethos of self-sacrifice and courage. These are men and women whose whole job is working together as a team to save lives, preserve property, and help people. They represent the best inclinations of our species and largely manage to avoid all the political noise and division that plagues so many other aspects of modern life. They are real heroes, and they get paid a wage to be our buffer against chaos and pain, dislocation, and death. Yet who watches out for them? Humboldt Fire District is the Eureka area's professional fire agency, and in recent interviews, Chief Sean Robertson and Fire Captain Brandon Harlander have spoken on the challenges facing their agency and what can be done. They'll be here in a few moments to discuss their profession, the state of their agency, and how the rest of us can help make sure that when folks are in desperate need of assistance, someone will always be there to provide it. But first, the news. The Board of Supervisors this week gave the green light to a sheriff's office plan to contract with a production crew from On Patrol Live. The Reels Channel reality program follows the well-trod path of cops and other police enforcement programs, providing a crew to follow deputies as they go about their work. It has become something of a hit for the Reels Channel, and the board approved a year-long access agreement with Half Moon Pictures, which produces the show. Sheriff Hansel told the board that the show isn't as sensational as other cop shows and will help local residents and everyone appreciate the hard work and care that local deputies bring to their profession. That opinion, however, is contrary to the take of some online critics who claim the presence of a film crew can encourage cowboy behavior and put the public at increased risk. Hansel told the Board of Supervisors this agreement is a trial run and that there will be a 45-day probationary period during which the county can still back out.
The reason why this show is going to be, important here, and the reason why I'm pushing this forward, is to talk about and to highlight the professional law enforcement services that we do here in Humboldt County. The one thing that we do that's, that's really, I think, special and unique is that we do take pride in our community policing and do take pride in how we offer compassionate law enforcement services. And I think this is an opportunity for us to highlight Humboldt County, put Humboldt County on the map, and also talk about how California law enforcement is different. And California law enforcement does show that, we do hold people accountable, but we also are all about building trust within our community. And this is another layer that we can present to our community and to highlight, again, the professional services that we do here. And so this is going to be, again, a trial run. We're going to see how this goes if this does get approved, and that we do have editing credits here, and that we can make sure that the things that are presented in the media does correspond with how we view law enforcement. And so this is going to be, again, very important, and again, another thing that we can highlight the professionalism that we have here at the Sheriff's Office and in Humboldt County. I think this gives a real firsthand view of what our deputies are facing out there in the street, what crimes they're facing. A lot of times we're concerned about mental health, mental illness, drug addiction, theft, violence, and what we're seeing here firsthand is the deputy's point of view on all these incidents, and it gives a better perspective of what the challenges are out there in law enforcement. It gives people a perspective of of the laws and how they're changing and how it's affecting how we do law enforcement. So I believe this is a positive thing. I believe that it is ultimately going to be a great thing for Humboldt County, and again puts us in an area where we can show the professionalism.
The media outlet Cal Matters this week published a story about the political divisions that are plaguing our neighbor to the east, Shasta County. The story profiles Kathy Darling Allen, Shasta County's former election official. She recently had to retire due in part to the threats she's steadily received since the 2020 election. Many voters in the area are convinced that Donald Trump won that election and that officials like her are responsible for the theft. Threats from these partisans led to stress and ultimately to a diagnosis of heart failure, even though she'd never had heart problems prior to that election. Quote, she has been repeatedly accused in public meetings and on social media of engaging in both Satanism and witchcraft, the story states. The most committed MAGA activists have circulated petitions accusing her of sedition and treason. She's been followed, walking to her car. Someone, she still isn't certain who, installed a trail camera behind her house or behind her office where votes are counted, unquote. She went on medical leave in December and officially retired as the county's registrar of voters in early May. The story points out that Shasta County has become a national symbol. Roiled repeatedly by clashes over election administration, Democrats and moderate Republicans in Shasta County say they are worried the anger and division will poison the community for good, and the goals of the outgoing assault on local institutions are increasingly unclear. The questions raised in Shasta are echoing throughout the whole United States. How much damage and controversy can our election system handle, and can we ever heal from such divisions? But most importantly, have we reached the bottom in this long slide toward political nihilism? I'm now joined via Zoom by Chief Sean Robertson and Fire Captain Brandon Harlander from the Humboldt Fire District. Thanks for joining us, fellas.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you guys beaming in via the Zooming machine, and I understand that could be a pain in the butt, so thank you guys for doing this. I'm interested in the issues you guys are facing, and from what I understand, just to start generally, it's largely a staffing issue. But Chief, can you sort of tell us what the issue is with staffing at the Humboldt Fire District and what's being done to sort of ameliorate that problem?
Yes, so at Humboldt Bay Fire, we're having a staffing crisis with recruitment and retention. Retention-wise, we've lost 17 people in the last 2 years to higher-paying agencies, and that's been at every level. We've lost 7 employees to Arcata Fire once they offered an impressive pay packet following their special district tax in 2020.
Yeah.
Since COVID, there's definitely a labor shortage of qualified firefighters across the state. And what we're seeing is almost every agency is hiring firefighters and competing for the same smaller pool. And because we're one of the lower paid agencies in the state, we're often unable to compete, especially with agencies in the Bay Area and even our closest neighbors that are comparable in terms of a municipal agency with more than 3 stations, such as Reading and Ukiah. They generally pay around $30,000 more for almost every position in the municipality, but specifically for us, for firefighters.
Wow, that's quite a difference.
Yeah, I mean, that is something we've always dealt with, like many other positions and jobs in Humboldt County. The real problem, though, is because of the smaller pool and the higher competition, we're having a much greater issue of backfilling the people who have left. We generally have a recruitment 1 to 2 times a year, and we generally get a good pool of 2 to 5 candidates from that. But this year, we've had an open recruitment since January. And initially, we got 25 applicants, and from those, we didn't get any great candidates. And so it's just concerning because if we could not fill the vacancies we have, we're already so far behind with our number of staffing that we have had a station closed since April 10th. But
So can I ask real quick? I mean, so normally you have 5 stations in operation, and now you're running on 4. Is that correct?
yes, we have started going back to 5 stations as of this week, but because we still are short many people, we're not able to staff 5 stations every day.
Yeah. And how does that affect, like, in terms of your response times or deploying in case of an emergency? Does that make it more difficult for you guys to get somewhere quickly?
Yes, it generally affects our response times by 1 to 3 minutes, depending on where the call is.
Yeah.
That's based on the data we have with Station 4 on Myrtle Avenue being closed. So Station 1, our downtown station at 6 and C, and Station 5 out at Redwood Acres are the ones that cover for that.
Yeah.
So depending on if where they are, that's where you see that change in response times. It also increases the call volume to those other 2 stations, and it just creates a compounding effect.
Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a representative of the union as well as being a fire captain. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
How does the union feel about these struggles? Obviously, your administrators within the department are, going out and trying to figure out ways to make more money. But and you've seen some of your compatriots leave to go to Arcata Fire and elsewhere. What's the morale like, and how is that discussed among union members? If you don't mind sharing that information.
Yeah, but morale's actually oddly high.
Okay.
Amongst the floor staff. We're super fortunate that we have a really close relationship with our administration, and I look at it as a partnership. It's not. Some places it's very confrontational, and they're almost adversaries. We do not have that at all.
Yeah.
The previous president to me, John Goodman, worked really, really hard to bridge that relationship to get rid of the us versus them relationship and work more as a team, because it's a problem that affects all of us.
Sure.
If that answers your question, we've worked really hard with administration and our negotiating group to come to a happy medium to hopefully to keep people here with our new contract that came through.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that keeps people here and keeps them from leaving, because that's one of the biggest struggles is once those people leave, we can't just replace them with someone off the street. The people we've lost in the last 2 years have been people with a lot of experience, with 10 plus years of experience, and you can't just propagate that overnight.
Yeah.
It takes years to get to those level of people that we have lost.
Yeah.
But both sides are working really hard to make it work, I feel like.
Yeah.
And Sean could disagree if he wants. That's okay. We disagree all the time. I think we worked really hard together to figure something out.
So you guys did just approve a contract and a raise for folks, but
we did.
Yeah. Okay. So that's at least that progress has been made, and you guys are working. One of the things that's really interesting to me is, I mean, you guys are in a special circumstance because your financial picture is very complicated. You are a JPA among, I guess, what used to be Eureka Fire and the Humboldt Fire District #1, and so you have 2 sort of government bodies. Is that right?
Yes, we have 2 parent agencies. The city's, as you probably know, funded by sales tax. The district is funded by property tax and benefit assessments.
Yeah.
So 2 very different revenue streams. And obviously the city has a pretty broad responsibility and obligation for the services they provide.
Yeah. Now, another question I wanted to ask is that there seems to be a lack of quality candidates after COVID. What's driving that, and what are you seeing among applicants? I mean, is it just a different type of person who's applying, or are people more like prone to wait for their ideal job?
I don't. From what I see, what we hire is we will get people that don't know how to do laundry, that can't make coffee. We've had to show them how to mop a floor, just things like that. It's a younger generation, it seems like, but it's also, why go be a firefighter when you can have all these things down the road when you could go work a tech job or do something else and make a lot more money, even for Bay Area standards. When I first started the career for a firefighter in 2008 and testing with cities all over the United States, I remember testing for Eureka specifically, and there was, I want to say, close to 500 people for 2 jobs.
Wow.
And now you can go anywhere and get hired. That what we have, Chief, last month was it 25 people?
Yeah.
It's fallen off a lot. I have friends that work in the Bay Area fire departments, and they jump from fire department. That was unheard of 5-10 years ago. It was almost impossible to do.
Yeah. What's the benefit for a department to have a staff that is, sort of born and bred within those four walls? I mean, there's got to be institutional knowledge that goes along with that and leadership, right?
Yeah, there's huge institutional knowledge, and especially the leadership. Like Brandon said, the 17 people we left have at least 10 or more years of experience. All the people we lost to Arcata are in that position, and we've had people with 20 and 20 plus years. So that is a huge amount of institutional knowledge. We have a lot of complicated problems in terms of the incidents we respond to here. We have a lot of structure fires with our older building construction. So having that knowledge, having great leadership makes us much more effective at our jobs. And it also helps us deal with things like the mental health issues we deal with maintaining a good balance in life throughout your career. Because now we're expecting our firefighters to have a 30-year career. This is a very, very physical, emotional, and mental job that is part of why we like it, because it challenges us in all those ways. But there's a lot more awareness of how to balance and deal with all of those things and be more resilient. Yeah. So yes, having people with institutional knowledge and strong leadership is not just great on the fire ground or on our day-to-day operations, but it has a much greater impact on our firefighters as a whole.
Yeah. I'm curious that with your funding set up the way it is can you spend money that you get from Eureka City through their sales tax on, enforcement or services provided within the Humboldt Fire District, or are they mutually exclusive? Do you have to keep money from one for that particular part, or can it just go toward the general expenditures?
They go towards the general expenditures. They're not exclusive. We create a JPA budget, so we have an operating budget. This next year, it's going to be $11.2 million. Wow. And then we provide a cost share ratio that's agreed on by our JPA board, and that determines what each parent agency's share is. And so throughout the year, we let them know what their apportionment is going to be, and they send us the contribution. So we're the stewards of the money that they give us through what the board has approved in the budget. So what is in our budget is all of our staff, which accounts for 91% of our budget. Wow. And then all of the equipment and maintenance and other supplies that we need to do our daily work. Our parents are responsible for the facility and apparatus upgrades and updates and maintenance. So when we do have to update our stations, like we are doing at stations 1, 3, and 2 in the next year, and we need new apparatus, then the parents are responsible for paying for those exclusively, as you said. So
sort of like a capital investments or whatever from your parent agencies.
Exactly. That's kind of a standard thing with this type of JPA agreement. I will say that having researched this governance structure throughout the state, there are very few JPAs or consolidations or mergers between a city and a fire district. Yeah. Most of them are either cities or they are either special districts. We're pretty uncommon. Ukiah is the nearest one, but they have a very different model. They only have 2 stations between the 2 of them, whereas we have 5, so it's more complicated.
And that makes, that complication makes it more difficult to plan financially and to make sure that there's enough money to go around, right?
Well, it makes it more complicated. I wouldn't say it makes it more difficult. Okay. We've done a lot of good planning in the last several years to prepare for the future because of the tumultuous times everybody's gone through. And again, the staffing issue is a result of that. The plans have not always come to fruition because of all of these other factors occurring. Yeah. The difficulty or the challenge for budgeting specifically is because we have 2 very different funding sources with property tax, which is stable, but doesn't vary too much, versus sales tax, which has varied quite a bit especially through COVID when everything was shut down and sales tax revenue projections were bad. But
Yeah, that's an interesting.
My experience has been that the good planning helps us deal with these problems, even to, looking at how do we provide for raises for our employees that deal with inflation. Obviously, expecting a 7% or up to 12% inflation rate within 3 years' time is very difficult to predict and has had a hugely detrimental effect on all of the families, not just for our firefighters, but everywhere.
Yeah.
How do we adjust to that? How do we plan for the future so that we're not going up and down so much? So again, my experience is if we plan well, if we work together, which I believe we have done, we are able to better prepare for those. But I'm not saying, as you postulated, that it's not very challenging and very complicated to have to deal with. It certainly is.
Yeah, it's interesting. There seems like there's two issues here. One is funding, and one is staffing. They're related, but they're two different problems. On the funding end, Measure H passed just prior to COVID, but like you were saying, the drop in sales tax basically took the floor out of that accrual and basically limited its effectiveness for you guys. Is that the case?
Well, it had an effect. We weren't as affected by, for example, the other city departments. We did not lose any staff. We did not close stations because of funding. We were able to maintain our planned raises. So we were able to weather that partly because we had some reserves that we were able to utilize. So we were fortunate through that. But yeah, Measure H has allowed us to be in the position we're in today. It's allowed us to prepare better for the future. It's allowed us to have come to this contract that we've just agreed on and moved forward through last week that we're hoping will help us with our retention and recruitment issues, Brandon said. And we look forward to the future of continuing to be able to be more effective.
Now, so that's the financial question, and then the staffing question. It sounds like you're not getting as many good candidates. Brandon, who makes a good firefighter? And would you just encourage folks who are promising young men and women to apply for these jobs, and how do they do so?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest attributes is a self-starter. And Sean has had a lot longer career, and he can spot a way better firefighter than I can. But a self-starter, someone that's driven, someone that's motivated, and someone that wants to make a difference. Because what I don't want is just a firefighter just to fill up a seat. I want that firefighter that wants to be a chief one day, that wants to be an engineer, that wants to be a captain. They want to progress in the fire department and make the place better, not just take up some space, for lack of better words. And the other part why they should do it, it's the best job in the world. I wish I'd started younger. It's my day is different every day. I rarely might go on the same calls and the same people often, but it is a roller coaster some days, the things we do. Like anywhere from lighting a hot water heater for someone, changing out smoke alarm batteries to, we had a bear trapped in a tree a couple weeks ago. It is a really exciting, dynamic job that'll challenge you in ways you never even could think of.
Yeah.
One program we're taking off to get people started here is we're having our cadet program, our junior firefighter program. And we're hoping to see, we've had, how many, Sean? We have 10 people or?
Yeah, 10 cadets.
10 cadets.
I believe we have 4 potential junior firefighters. We're doing interviews next month.
So what does that involve for the junior firefighters? Do they train with you guys until they're old enough, or how does that work?
Well, the concept is that we will have training with them once a month where they really just get oriented to the career. And then once they develop from there, we do some training with them, starting with basic, first aid, learning about that, and then just being able to really find out what the job is about and how they can progress in it. Ideally, it's the door to a pathway that is then through the cadet program, where it's a 2-year program that's an internship where we pay for all of your training.
Wow.
And you are able to get the certifications to become a career firefighter with Humboldt Bay Fire. And it's, you asked me earlier, what are we doing to ameliorate our staffing issue?
Yeah.
These are 2 issues. Is we recognize that if you are local and you are looking for a great career, that we offer that. There are great benefits to it, as Brandon said. And if you're from the area, your family's here, this is where you want to be. So we really want to work harder to spread the word about this being a great career and develop from within. Another thing we're working on is the pathway to getting a certification as a firefighter one in California is challenging for us, because now you have to go through a certified testing center, and the nearest one is in Santa Rosa or in Shasta. So it's a big barrier to folks locally getting the training they need if they're working or going to college or whatever they're doing. So College of the Redwoods has had a fire academy specifically directed at CAL FIRE and the Forest Service as seasonal wildland firefighters. And the goal is for that to become an accredited firefighter one academy, so that we have a local opportunity to develop local people. And that's just another aspect of what we're trying to do. Some other elements is we've worked together collaboratively, like Brandon said, union and management, on a lot of policy changes, on a lot of internal training changes, so that we can develop our personnel more easily, and also just identify some of the learning changes that we're seeing with different generations. We have to adapt to things being different and people being different, because ultimately that's what makes us successful. You asked what makes a good firefighter. It's not just somebody who looks for a challenge, it's somebody who's curious and is adaptable, because you never know what you're going to get in this job, and you need to be able to adjust to it and deal with it, because that's what people expect from us. They call us, they want us to show up, they want us to fix the problem, whether it's a horrific accident, a heart attack, a house on fire, or like Brandon said, a bear struck in a tree. And we've found all kinds of creatures and all kinds of people stuck in all kinds of places, and I want us to help get them unstuck.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate all your work and your career of service, because you're retiring and we're out of time, but I wanted to congratulate you on a career well served, and thank you for all your time and effort.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. This program is made possible thanks to the support of viewers like you. Thank you. And before we go, remember to check out our podcast, Neon Galactic, covering all the weird phenomenon that's always kept you and everyone else wondering. Stay tuned, stay informed.